Can anyone tell me what this is? So this is an air filter, and this goes in HVAC systems.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Now, HVAC means heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, and I had no idea how big the industry was until we came to Volz Engineering here in Rochdale. Now, I'm going to put this down because it's not that heavy, but I've got a few notes I need because these guys have got, they've got some amazing numbers, the amount of filters these guys make every year and every day. So I'm going to put this down, back onto the machine that helps crimp it. Now, we put it down here. So this is one of the machines that they make here at Volz Engineering. Now, they've designed them in-house. This is actually based on an older design, a German design for Volz. And all this does is, Chris, if you have a quick look down here, you see these crimps. They're a bit like if you can catch the little crimps here that attach the filter, the polyester filter media to what they call the hoops of the filter. And these little crimps, they're just like a staple gun, basically. Each of these little modules here has a knife that pierces the material, has an anvil that creates the form, and it attaches the filter media to the filter. Sounds simple. Like I thought, well, why don't you just have a person go and clap, snip, 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 just by hand? The reason you can't do that is because the sheer number of filters these people are making. So they make. So I've got to check my notes here. These guys make 1 million pleated panel filters a year. This isn't a pleated panel filter. This is a bag filter. But the number of crimps they do here, every machine does something like 13 million crimps a year. And that machine might be running for 20 years. So that's something crazy. Like it's about 260 million crimps over its working life of 20 years. And that's these crimps. And they have to be bang on. They have to not rip the filter. They have to hold it securely. So you can't just have someone doing 13 million crimps a year. There's not enough people probably in the UK to be able to do that many crimps. So that's why you need a crimping machine. And so that's what these guys make here at Volz. They make crimping machines. They make frame bending machines that bend the material here. They make hoop bending machines, which make the little hoops inside here.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's amazing, really, what we see when we come to these engineering shops, because a machine tool is a machine tool, but these guys are using machine tools to make such specialist machines. It's absolutely amazing. So this is the tech center for the whole of Volz in Europe. And Volz is massive. They've got sites in Germany, here in Manchester. They've got sites in Slovakia. And in Slovakia, they've got 10 of these machines pumping out even more panels than they're making in Manchester. So if you imagine 1 million pleated panel filters a year just in Manchester, in Slovakia, Germany. I couldn't get a number out of Anthony, the MD of the Volz filters down in Manchester, but I'm guessing it's probably, I don't know, something like 20 million filters a year, 30 million filters a year. It's absolutely huge. And so that is kind of version 1 of the machine. Now, over the past 3 years, so that was made 3 years ago, and they only had milling machines, manual machines. It was a very labor-intensive process. They were fettling the parts. They were all bespoke. They had to fit properly. There was a difficult adjustment mechanism, but the machine worked really well, and they've been using these machines. They've got 3 down in Manchester. They've got 10 in Slovakia, but this is version 2.
I'm the upgrade.
I mean, it doesn't look like it. This has got quick change hydraulics. This has got modular cartridges you can move around. You can take these out for different size hoops. So this, to me, it looks more like version 100 compared to, I mean, that machine works well, but this is like the Ferrari of panel crimping machines. And this has all been, they've been designing and making this. Steve is the design engineer here. They've been designing and making this over the past 18 months. You've been working on designing and manufacturing this crimping machine.
That's right, yeah. Yeah.
So how? What's been the design process? What's allowed you to go from what is a working machine, a good working machine, to but this is just an incredible design?
We reverse engineered the original machinery, and then we've built a prototype, run the prototype, found out all the glitches, all the problems, all the weak spots, and then engineered those out into what we have now.
So it's all about iterating on the design process, making it, feeding back, making it, feeding back.
Exactly, yeah.
And has that been easier because you have Volz filters in Manchester, and you have, here we are, Volz Engineering, and you've been working closely with Anthony, the MD, and they use these machines day in, day out, so they know what the problems are and know what you can fix. Has that helped you making a fantastic crimping machine?
Yeah, that prototype crimping machine we actually put into production to find all the weak spots.
Yeah. That's probably the hardest test. Is it actually
yeah,
being used exactly as it's going to be used for the next 20 years?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Brilliant. So for the viewers who maybe it's still a little bit not very obvious what this thing is doing, can you give us a little demo now, please,
sure,
Steve?
Yeah. What we've got is a filter frame here, and these are filter bags inside the frame.
And what are these made of, these filter bags?
Polyester.
And you guys call this is your filter media, you call?
Filter media, yeah. Filter media.
And what, so just out of interest, I mean, do these trap particles, gases, what do they trap?
Particles in your building, yeah.
So is it PM 2.5 or what's the...
I'm not a filter expert, so I can't answer that
no,
one.
you're the design engineer.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm the metal nuts and bolts man.
I'm
Yeah.
sure I can find a filter expert around here somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So enough about the filter. Then what are we going to be doing today?
So what we've got here is we've got the filter frame, steel frame, and then there's a frame for each bag. Each bag compartment had its own frame. Now these have to be attached to each other with the filter media crimped in between, so it basically seals that joint, so air can't pass through there.
Which is really important for a filter. You need to make sure that air all passes through the filter,
right, yeah.
not through these
So
gaps.
this machine here is an adjustable, non-standard. They call it a non-standard, and it can take filters up to 1.2 meters wide.
Which would be for a huge air conditioning system. Would that be for like a skyscraper or a massive building?
Yeah, it would. Yeah. So this particular filter is they call it a 24-inch by 24-inch. It's your standard HVAC filter.
Okay, let's see it crimp then.
We're gonna crimp these together. Here we go.
Okay, here we go. I'm excited now. And look at that, easy as that. We've got some beautiful crimps on that machine. And if you were doing that by hand, it would take a long time. It'd be quite hard to do.
So they do in Manchester. They do 8,000 of these a day,
Which is absolutely incredible. And what kind of
machines?
And what manufacturing technology have you guys had to invest in to allow you to make these parts? What kind of tolerances do you need to achieve?
Well, typically there's within the cartridge there's within 0.3 millimeters. Yeah.
So 30 micron.
30 microns. Yeah.
So obviously it's quite tight, and you can't really achieve. You could achieve those with a manual machine, but it would be very operator intensive.
It was, and we had a variation in parts. That's what I'm seeing when I reverse engineer things. I've seen big variation in the same part. Now it's consistent, and it's also reduced. Bringing the tolerances down has reduced the use of consumable items, i.e.
The off-the-shelf item.
punches, the dies.
So there's less wear in the wearing components.
Yeah. So they're not using punches, they're not using dies where they were heavily using them before.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve. And you guys have gone from no machines 18 months ago to 6 CNC machines to make these fantastic products.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
That's fantastic. What a success story. Now we're going to move on. That's the crimping machine. That's giving you a little bit of context. And now the bread and butter of what we do is the CNC machine. So they started off with no machines 18 months ago. They got 2 Dalis, 3-axis machines to replace the manual mills they were using. And then they kept investing in technology, and that allowed them to improve from 3 years ago, the machine there that works really well, but sometimes had a few problems, to this brand new machine, modular, the Ferrari of crimping machines. And what do you need to make the Ferrari crimping machines? The Dalis, the Doosons. So this is a 5-axis Doosan with a 10 pallet changer, I think. Obviously with the classic micro-lock base, which is adjustable, helps you deal with loads of different part sizes. The parts here today, they're doing op 10s, op 20s. They've got, and I think the great thing about having the pallet changer machine is you can do op 10 on one side, op 20 on a different pallet, and you can get good parts off. If you set for a weekend running, I guess if you've got 10 pallets, you might get 5 good parts off overnight. They've also got a cobot from Mill CNC, which helps to load up the machine, billet load in this case, with a hydro feed short bar feeder. So I guess the hydro feed can probably do up to 80 mil short bar feeding. So you get anything more than 80 mil, which is something like the work holding here obviously looks like it needs to be a big billet. So you need to load it with a cobot. And so this is Volz Engineering's newest investment, the Mitsubishi MV2400S. It's a brand new EDM machine, and this is a fantastic machine. The Mitsubishi EDMs are known for being fantastic brands, but this allows them to make the slightly more difficult parts that they couldn't really do otherwise on the machine tools, like the knives that do the bending. So actually, if we go here, I've got an example part here. So this is actually, they make a load. This is actually normally a much smaller part here, but they'll EDM it and slice it up into loads of little bits. This is probably, we've got about 20 or 30 of the piercing knives that when the crimper goes in, this knife here will pierce the material, and then another anvil will come in and crimp it like a crimper or a stapler. So that's what they're using the EDM for, that, and they're splitting some rings and harder materials, stuff they couldn't machine because it's a bit harder. But I'm just amazed at what a success story this place has been. 18 months. They're the design and engineering house for the whole of Europe for Volz, which is, it's huge. This is a fantastic example of great British engineering. 18 months, 6 CNC machines, brand new CMM. These guys are on the cutting edge of design engineering in the filter industry for HVAC across the globe. That's been Volz Filters in Rochdale, Greater Manchester.